Hello, dear students. Good afternoon to all. I, Aruna Bajpayee, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering. Today I will deliver the lecture on topic Introduction of Java. In previous lecture, I discussed about the overview of Java. What are the topics that we are discussed in this course, or what are the prerequisites that we know about the Java when we will start learn this programming language. So all these basic topics are covered in the previous lecture. Today contents of this lecture is represented here. First topic of today lecture is prerequisite of this topic. Second is Java, means what do you mean by Java, and introduction of Java will be covered here. Next topic that we are discussed today is Java additions and what are the different types of Java editors, features of Java, how the program of Java will be translated, types of applications, and in last we will discuss the student effective learning outcomes. So first, why we will study Java? Like any other programming language, you will study in the previous semesters like C, and other programming languages like C++. C++ is also an object oriented programming language, but there is some property that will not applicable on C and C++, like if we talk about the property portable. So C and C++ is not portable language, and it will also not platform independent language. But if we will talk about the programming language Java, so this programming language is portable and platform independent also. Now, what are the prerequisites of this subject or this topic is basic knowledge of computer and programming. So when we will study about the topic introduction of Java, so we will have the basic knowledge about the computer, like what do you mean by computer, what do you mean by the softwares, and what do you mean by the programming, and what are the different categories of programming language. So these are some prerequisite or points that will cover if we learn Java. Now the first topic of today lecture is introduction of Java. So in this topic I discuss about some point that will related to the Java. So first or important point is Java is a high level programming language. I already told to you in the previous lecture, Java is high level or object oriented programming language. Why it is called object oriented programming language? Because it will work on some object oriented concept also. Java is developed by Sun Microsystem and it is released in the year 1995. When we talk about the object oriented programming language, so Java have some features that will belongs to object oriented. So it is also called object oriented programming language. Second feature of Java is it is cross platform. Cross platform means it is platform independent. If we write any program in the any computer, and if we want to run this program on any other computer or any other platform, so it will also execute the program. Third or important property is multi-purpose programming language. Means with the help of Java we will design many types of applications also. So this is the another important point. It is object oriented, cross platform and multi-purpose. Java have a feature of C and C++, but it has obtained its format from C and features related to the object oriented programming from C++. So it will have a combination or some features from both the languages C and C++. I already told to you Java is platform independent language and that the programs are written on the Java that are platform independent. Now the next or important point is for Java we will use word Wora, means WORA. So the full form of WORA is write once, run anywhere. So it defines the property platform independent. This is the main important property or main function. By this sentence we will define the concept of Java. Next topic, why we will study or why you use Java, because you know about many types of programming languages like C and C++ also. So why we will study the concept of Java. Java works on different platform and it is one of the most popular programming languages. So we will study the concept of Java. It is easy to learn and simple to use. So this programming language is easy to learn for every user and it is simple for using the concept of Java. It is open source and free programming languages. Now the most important point of Java is why we will use Java, because it is secure, fast and powerful programming language. And the programming language Java is an object oriented language which define structure to programs and allow code to be reused. So these are some points. On the basis of this point we will discuss why we use our programming language Java, because it work on different platform, it is easy to learn and simple to use, and it is also secure and fast and powerful programming languages, and that programs are written into the Java. These code are allowed to be reused. Java additions. So what do you mean by Java additions and what is the role of Java additions? Because there are mainly three types of Java additions that I will discuss here. First type of Java addition is J2SE, second addition is J2ME, third addition is J2EE. So full form of J2SE is Java 2 Standard Addition, J2ME is Java 2 Micro Addition, and J2EE is Java 2 Enterprise Addition. So why we will use different types of Java addition? If we use Java 2 Standard Addition, so it will develop client application, or we can say for applet, we will use the version J2 SE. If we want to develop application for mobile development such as cell phone, so we will use the version J2ME, Java 2 Micro Edition. And if we want to develop server side applications like such as servlet, JSP, Java server pages, so we will use the edition J2EE, and it will represent Java 2 Enterprise Edition. Now, what do you mean by Java editors? Java editors are the following types of editor. Basically, editor can be defined here into the three various types, that we will return our code into this editor. Like first or simple editor is Notepad. So on Windows machine, if you can use any simple text editor like Notepad or TextPad, so on the Notepad or TextPad editor we will write our Java program code. And second editor is NetBeans. So what do you mean by NetBeans editor? NetBeans editor is used for Java IDE, integrated development environment, and that is open source and free editor which can be downloaded here. This is the link from downloaded the NetBeans editor, http://www.netbeans.org/index.html. So this link will be used for downloading the NetBeans editor. Third type of Java editor is used, that will Eclipse, and Eclipse is also a Java IDE developed. It is developed by the Eclipse, and it is also open source community, and it can be downloaded from http://www.eclipse.org. So these are the mainly three types of editor. But if we want to write our code into first stage, so Notepad is better, and after typing the code into the Notepad we will set our path and class path also for execution of the program into the command prompt, and Eclipse will execute or give the output on the same window. So these are three editors: Notepad, NetBeans and Eclipse. Now the important topics, features or characteristics of Java. So there are some features or characteristics of Java. First one is simple, second object oriented, distributed, Java is interpreted, Java is robust, Java is portable, Java is multi-threaded, Java is secure, and Java is dynamic. So these are some characteristics that we will define the features of Java into the form of these characteristics. Now we will discuss one by one of all the characteristics, and some of the important characteristics are defined here. Now if we talk about the characteristic object oriented, so what do you mean by this feature object oriented? In Java everything is an object, like that we want to write any code, and if we want to define any variable or any code, so in this programming language everything is called an object, and it works on the concept of object oriented, like class, abstraction, encapsulation. So these are some basic object oriented concepts that are used in this programming language. Next characteristic of Java is platform independent. So what do you mean by platform independent? Basically platform independent means when we write our code and when we want to compile our Java program, so it is not compiled into platform specific machine. Suppose we want to compile our code into the another machine or into the platform independent machine, so it will compile also on the another machine. So it is called platform independent, and the code will be compiled into the term of bytecode. Now the next characteristic is Java is simple. So because why it is called simple? Java is designed to be easy to learn, because if every user or that particular user know about the some basic concept of C and C++, so there is some concepts that are combination of C and C++, but if any user that will not know about any programming language, so it will not difficult to that particular user also. Next characteristic is Java is secure. Why Java is secure? Because in this, when we will write our code into the form of .java, then it will be converted into the form of .class file, and that particular file or that particular code is represented into the term of bytecode. So according to this Java C means Java compiler, our programming is secure. Next characteristic is, what do you mean by architectural neutral? So Java is also called architecture neutral because Java compiler generates an architectural in the mode of neutral object file format, which makes the compiled code executable on processor with the presence of Java runtime system. So this type of architecture is defined in Java. So Java is called neutral architecture. Portable. So portable, what do you mean by the feature portable? I already discussed about the term portable, because we will move our code or we will work on different platforms or different machines. So it is called Java is portable. Next feature or next characteristic of Java is robust. So what do you mean by robust? Because Java is robust because in this programming language we will use the concept of exception handling and type checking also. So it will eliminate errors by emphasizing or by focusing on compile time error checking and runtime error checking. So it is called Java is robust. This attribute or this property define the Java robust. Next characteristic is multi-threaded. Multi-threaded means it is possible to write programs that can perform many tasks simultaneously. So with the help of Java, we will perform many tasks simultaneously. So this functioning is defined Java is multi-threaded. Next or important characteristic is Java is interpreted. Why it is called interpreted? Because Java bytecode is translated onto machine instruction and is not stored anywhere. So Java is defined into the form of interpreter, because first bytecode is translated onto the machine code, then particular machine code or instruction is not stored anywhere. So interpretation is done in this programming language. Now in Java there is a use of compiler, and that particular compiler is called just-in-time compiler. So when we will use the JIT compiler means just-in-time compiler, so performance of Java will define into the terms of high. So it will call the feature Java is high performance. So these are some characteristics, or we can say feature of Java, that will define why we will study Java or why we will use Java into our programming languages, because there are many types of programming languages for writing a code like C, C++, Python. So C++ is also object oriented programming language, and Java is also a object oriented programming languages. Now we will discuss about the topic program translation. Means if we write the code into our programming language Java, so how we will execute our program, or what are the different types of steps that will convert our code or translate our code into step by step. So first we will write the Java programming language into the form of source code, and first it is written in plain text file. Plain text file means like into the notepad or into the text pad, and this file will save with the extension .java. So this is the first step. When we will write our code and file will saved into the form of .java extension, then these source files are then compiled, and after compilation this file converted into the form of .class file. So .class is the extension that file will be generated after the compilation process, and this file will be compiled by the Java compiler, and the name of that particular Java compiler is Java, JAVAC. Now after translation of this step, next step is a .class file does not contain code, because the code is written into the source code, but when the file that will compile, and after compilation we will get the .class file, but this code does not contain the actual code, but it contains the byte codes of the machine language, and that particular byte code will be defined on the JVM. JVM is Java Virtual Machine. Now after converting the source code into the byte code with the Java compiler, the Java Launcher tool then runs your application with an instance of Java Virtual Machine. So with the help of JVM we will execute or run our application. So these are some steps that will help to define the process of program translation. First source code will be written, then the file of source code will be saved with .java extension, then source file will be compiled with Java compiler, and after compilation process the file will be converted into the form of .class file, and this file have code byte code, and that particular source code will be converted into the byte code when we will use Java compiler, and with the help of this byte code this will run our application with the help of machine, and that particular machine language of Java is called Java Virtual Machine. Now this is the diagram how our program translate. Like first here we will write the source code into the form of Java programming language, so it is defined Java source code. Now when we will write our source code, then we will compile this code with the help of Java compiler, and after compilation process this code will be converted into the byte code. So source code can be translate first into Java byte code because we will use compiler here. Then after Java bytecode generation, it will interpret it also with the help of Java interpreter, and the bytecode compiler will be used for compilation process, and if it will compile properly, so it will execute our code into the form of machine code with the help of Java Virtual Machine. So this is the basic structure that will represent the steps of program translation from source code to bytecode and then bytecode to machine code. Now this is the Java program translation step. So first here first we will write the source program into the form of source code, and this file will be saved with the name of hello.java because the name of the file will saved with .java extension. So the name of file is hello.java. When this file is compiled with the help of Java compiler, so we will use the GAVAC Java, and after compilation process this source program will convert into the form of .class file. So the name of that particular class file is hello.class, and the code that will be represented into the term of Java bytecode. So this is the source program, this is the Java compiler, and after processing this process we will find the code into the term of bytecode. So these are the steps that will follow when we will translate our program source code to bytecode. Now where we will use this programming language. So Java is used anywhere, like for mobile applications also, like if we want to design any desktop application, so with the help of Java we will create the desktop application. Web application is also created with the help of Java programming language, and if we want to develop web server and application server, so this will also created by these programming languages. And if we want to create games or database connection, so these are also the use of Java programming languages. So with the help of Java we will create different types of applications or different types of games also. Now the main applications of Java will categorized into 4 part. First part is stand-alone application or desktop application. Second is web application. Third one is enterprise application, and fourth one is mobile application. So I already discussed about some type of application, like stand-alone application is used for develop client-side application or for the purpose of generating desktop type application. Next type of application will create web application, and web application is defined into the form of, we can say, server side application like servlet, Java server page, or any web pages or any website that can be developed also with the help of Java web applications. Next, enterprise application is used for developing mobile or cell phone. So here we will use enterprise application if we will develop application for mobile devices or mobile application. So this type of application will also defined into the form of mobile application. So these are main 4 types that are related to applications, and this is also defined into detailed form in the notes also. Now these are some suggested readings, or you will use the reference book as E. Balaguru Swami, and second is the complete reference Java, and the book title, and the title of this book is Java How to Program. So these are some suggested readings book, or that particular book will be used for reference. Basic concept will be discussed in the book. Bala Guruswami will very helpful, and by reading this book your concept will be clear. Now there are some learning outcomes that will affect to the student. Like first outcome is ability to solve problems through the application of theoretical and practical concept. Like if we use any type of programming language or any type of application, so by using this application, first you will know about the theoretical concept, and after using the practical concept you will solve any type of problems. Second SELO is ability to observe and develop sense making or logical skills for abstract concept. If you want to develop any skill or any logical concept, so with the help of this programming language you will able to develop your code also. Third outcome is ability to use updated tools, techniques and skills for effective domain specific practices. Like I already defined to you what are the different types of application, like mobile application, enterprise application. So that particular topic, the outcome of that particular topic is it will domain specific. So with the help of tool you will create your particular specific problem related to particular domain. Thank you to all for listening this lecture, and in the next lecture I will discuss about the path, class path, how we will install Java and how we will set the path and class path, and what do you mean by JVM, JDK and JRE. So these topics are covered in the next lecture. Thank you.